Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Rules can be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, to see how they play it as karmic themes, help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is, because that helps us to stop ruminating. You know, we don't want to be stuck ruminating because it creates a lot of negative energy. Then before we know it, our mindset is starting to look at things negatively. That's why it's really important to surround yourself with people that are positive. Sometimes we don't have the power, though, to be in a different environment, right? So we have to. We might have to deal with people that are just disrespectful, treat us badly. They're just toxic and they affect us. Sometimes we don't have that opportunity to be able to, leave family, leave a job, leave wherever we are. So what we have to do is we have to change ourselves. That's what it comes down to. Now, it doesn't mean to disrespect yourself ever, but the way that we handle things a lot of times is what you'll see, especially when we're talking about the karmic mates. Karmic mates where that we tend to associate with most of the time are either past life karmic mates, which are coming back from a previous life to try to learn a lesson that they'd never learned in previous lifetimes. So there's always a lot of chemistry and instantaneous knowing and signs and synchronicities, but the person never they do one thing, they say another thing, right? It's that they're never in alignment. They tend to trigger us the most, those past life karmic mates. Then there's the soul partner that comes in, and yes, they're going to trigger you, but not like a past life karmic mate. They're not deliberately shady like past life karmic mate, usually people that have very low character. Um, so they're negative. They only care about themselves. And so they're, have the energies of greed and all the other lower vibrational energies. And so, we also we also attract the twin flame connection, which is you're still getting a person that is fragmented, but there's a desire, a want to be better. So again, we have these different types of soul partners that come into our life. We tend to associate the negative karma, with the past life karmic mate. And that is normally, unfortunately, what we attract in these type of readings. So the reason why is because, listen, you're only going to meet like your twin flame maybe in this lifetime. Some people don't even meet their twin flame in this lifetime, but they are not meeting a bunch of twin flames. There's only one, opposed to like a past life karmic mate that can come in for a day, a season. They're not coming in for long, but they're teaching you. And usually they're teaching you through a negative experience, unfortunately. So it's not so much the experience. We tend to look at the experience like it's negative, but it's the habits and the behaviorisms that come from that experience that keeps us stuck in a karmic loop, right? So there's a lot more damage than just that one experience. That's why karmic, you have to learn because there's some life lesson that needs to be, gone through and dealt with differently in order to heal it when we have these deep-seated wounds. Now, I don't know why I say what I say. I usually just let myself like channel, a little bit to see what spirit wants to talk about within the reading or what we should focus on. So again, there's all these soulmates. So you may be someone that's like, I'm not, I keep dating very, like, for not long periods of time. Like people that I think are someone because they come in and they're passionate, we have this connection, but they don't stay for long. And so you keep on reliving like the karmic theme of abandonment is kind of the energy is what I got from that little channel. So you may say like, I don't understand why that happens. Why first of all do I feel that that person, that these people are someone significant and they wind up not being significant, number one. Number two, why don't they stay? Why do I keep getting the same type of people that come into my life? So you don't need to be like dating someone for like a week or only a few days. It could be someone that comes in for a really, really short time and they don't stay. But it could be also someone that comes in for like a month or 2 months or 3 months, and you thought that it was significant, and after 3 months or 4 months, it just ended, or 5 months, it just ended. It wasn't really a long period of time. And when I'm talking long period of time, I'm talking soul relationships. They can last lifetimes. The twin flame relationship, that stays in your life for a few years, like 6, 7, 8 years, before like a cycle can close out. So you want to know why. Again, these insignificant people come in to your life, people that you think are important, but they're not really important. So the underlining energy is disrespect. So I feel like obviously you're in separation from a person because you had boundaries, because the person disrespected you, they didn't want to value you. And then I feel like that person just disappeared. We want to know why they disappeared. What was their reasoning for disappearing? Okay, well, they have a lot of passions and desires, I feel like, for maybe multiple people. There was also passion and desire for you, but if the person is not on the same wavelength, where I don't think that they were, again, they gave you the silent treatment. So this person came in with a lot of passion, a lot of heat, and a lot of desire where you thought that it should have worked. But I feel that this person, that passion and that desire, this person is only, they're on a very low vibration. So what if they don't get what they want when they want it, they're going to give you the silent treatment. And it was this person hid a lot of things from you. So that's the thing. They didn't want to be transparent. They didn't really want to build a deep connection with you. They came in with passion and desire, but that's all that it was. It's built a little bit on fantasy, passion and desire. It's not built on trust and truth and grounded energy. It's based on what you want that person to be, their potential, but not who they are. And so that's what ended it, is what I feel, that this person just they played a lot of games, like where they didn't really want to be transparent. Remember, like being in a relationship with someone and then omitting information is lying. Lying where you can't make the decisions that you need to make for yourself because you're not getting the full information. This person kind of wanted to be in a one-sided relationship, disrespecting you where they weren't taking your emotional needs or anything into consideration. They were just focusing on the passion and wanted to treat you like that because this person is constantly battling inner demons. So it has nothing to do with you. It had to do with that they have a lot of these spiritual blocks, because that's what the demons are, right? Demons are manifestations from those blocks, and those blocks of really being led only by passion and desire, and then gonna treat you as if you're like almost like a piece of meat, like you're just a physical body. So it was really triggering. It's like you felt very lonely in the connection and because this person didn't build the emotional connection. So they wanted you to act like they were in this relationship with you when meanwhile they were ignoring you and you know, and you felt lonely. So you're like, why am I going to be in a connection with someone that just is focused on my body? Is just focused on having sex, being in the bedroom, but never making um experiences for me. So the moment that you didn't do it, well, this person tried to punish you by giving you the silent treatment, where again, they wanted you to feel forgotten about. That's why, again, by putting you into a place of submission is what I feel like. And this person definitely checks out. They have addiction issues. So what we see here is a person that is just living from their addictions, their sex and drugs. So they're like going to be avoidant with you. They don't want to build that emotional connection. They lied to you and pretended that they wanted that connection with you, but they never really wanted that connection. Again, and this person showed you that. They showed you that because it says, I felt you had more time for other people than me. You have become too busy for this connection. Well, they wanted you to think that because they wanted you to put in more time. They wanted you to do it. Again, this person did never wanted to put the time in because by giving time, it means that they have to open their heart. If they can just compartmentalize and treat it as a physical thing, they don't build the emotional connection. So the thing is, when this person got together with you, they didn't know who you were. They're going to treat you the way that they treat everybody else. It doesn't matter, who you are. It doesn't matter about anything. What matters is that this person is like, I don't want a deep connection, but they're not going to tell the truth and say, well, I don't, because everyone's going to say, well, I don't, bye. So this person is going to lie again by omitting information. So you think that you're in a relationship, but the whole time you're feeling lonely because they're emotionally not giving you anything. So, like you knew is what spirit's saying. And so again, the person just says, well, they couldn't really be with you and they couldn't be with you as long as there's other people in this person's life and that yeah there was a connection, but this person, like, if they're with somebody, they're not really treating that person well. They're running around with a lot of different people. So I kind of feel like they were in a loveless connection and they're like, well, I could never really be with you anyway because this person is here, and as long as this person's here, I can't be with you, but I'm not interested really in that person. I'm not treating this person well, and that's the issue. So this person only knew how to, like, pretty much, like, the relationship the whole time was blocked because they could never, you were trying to make it into a relationship that they could never really have. So what would happen is there would be a lot of stagnant energy. This person would give nothing. And then maybe a fight would break out. And then this person would say, oh, yeah, they're going to change. They're going to give you the time that they know that it's not right and that they feel inadequate, that they're conflicted of whether they have what it takes to be with you, when really the truth of the matter is that they weren't planning on leaving that connection. It's like because they weren't planning on stopping their lifestyle, which their lifestyle was to run around with people and cheat and to do drugs and to drink and to be of this lower energy. So that's why. So whether they knew who you were or not, but I don't think that they knew because again, emotionally, this person didn't give. In order for this person to really say, "Oh, you're my twin flame. You're my person," they didn't because they weren't present in the relationship the whole time, and that's what they showed you. And so Spirit saying it's like it doesn't matter. So the whole time they just projected everything and they will still project it like it was your fault because this person doesn't want to do the healing. It's like they gave you the silent treatment because it was something you did, which they're saying, I'm not doing anything wrong, but they know that they are doing something wrong. They're not being honest. They don't want to build anything. They want to just have a relationship where it's a sexual relationship like in nothing else because hey, they're connected to somebody else anyway, so they're not going to commit to anybody. They're not even committed to the person that they're with. It's like, and they don't plan on it, that's why they stay with that person. So this person's stuck in family patterns. It might have grown up that way, so they're not looking to heal. And so they're never gonna ask for forgiveness. That would make them transparent. That would create emotional intimacy. So they're stuck in their old habits, and it's because their old habits allow them to see themselves the way that they want to see themselves as. It's not real. What it is like it's just karmic contracts where this person gets to be the authoritarian in the relationship. So they'll never change their situation. They're afraid to change because hey, this works for them, and that's what the problem is. It has nothing again to do with you, but there will always be betrayal because this person really only cares about themselves. Like I said, they're not caring about anybody. I feel like they grew up that way. Again, we see the trauma, and really what's underneath all of it is that this person feels inadequate. So they're lazy. They don't try. So because they don't try, they'll never get a different result. This works for them. Why do they have to try? They have they have one person that's doing stuff that they lie to, and then they run around and with a bunch of people that they lied to. And so to them, they're like, my life works. And not until something happens in this person's life are they going to change, But as long as they're connected to that karmic, they're going to stay the way that they are, right? I mean, there's no karmic consequences for them. There's karmic consequences for being with them, is what it looks like. And so you say, well, why is that? Well, eventually, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Eventually, something happens where this person can't, they're not going to be able to live that way. The dynamic of that connection will eventually either fall apart because, hey, the karmic will get tired of not getting anything and they'll get sick because you can't stay in a relationship where you're not getting anything and the person's treating you bad. So either that person will get sick, or they get mad, they'll meet somebody else, something will happen. They can't control the environment. Yeah, as long as they try to control, but as long as they're controlling, they don't get anything for being with that person. They're being with that person and they just get to say that they're with that person. That person's with everybody. They don't, and it's because it works for them. It's very um low vibrational energy. So you have to say, why did you attract that person into your life? And what can you do to heal? That's the thing. When a person doesn't give that much time and they know that they haven't, their pride, their ego. So you have to say, well, again, feeling unworthy. You grew up with a feeling unworthy. Look at this. Inner child one, unworthy, trauma, self-sabotage, outdoors in nature, truth, and loner. So growing up in an environment where you're made to feel unworthy makes you feel again like you're not good enough, like you can't have, especially if that's the way that you felt. So you were conditioned in an environment to believe that, which in order to get love, you gave. In order to, kind of fit in and to be approved, you had to kind of ignore your your wants, your needs, your desires because you were made to feel unworthy. There was a lot of trauma there. So there was a lot of self-sabotaging behaviorisms that come from being brought up in an environment where you're taught not to like yourself, where you're taught that there's something wrong with you. You begin to have that. You begin to not be grounded anymore. There's no connection to your physical body, the physical world, the people that are on the world because you feel unworthy. You don't feel as if you connect because it's the mindset. So, and it's the trauma that comes from that psychological and emotional abuse of feeling unworthy. So that will continue to play out until, again, the loner. That's, I can't have anyone. That's how you were made to feel growing up. It's not that you didn't survive, but you did it on your own. You didn't have parents that helped you. You didn't have siblings that really helped you. Again, they might help the breadcrumb worth, but again, whatever, you were always the one that gave. You were always the one. And so made to feel again bad all the time when you give resources to people that don't honor you, that don't love you, that don't appreciate you, you feel taken advantage of over time. And so it's self-sabotaging to give of yourself to people that don't, that don't honor you, that don't. And so a lot of times this happens in family, right? If we have parents that are just angry parents and they're self-entitled parents, self-entitled siblings, well, again, and you were that, the fixer, the healer, the wounded healer, the giver, well, guess what? People looked at you for what you could do for them, what you could give to them, but where, what were you putting into yourself, is Spirit saying. So, like, to live your truth. Growing up in that type of environment where you're feeling unworthy, well, the thing is that we know when we feel that way. So, not living our truth because of the environment of being made to feel unworthy, you had habits and behaviorisms that were self-sabotaging. And those self-sabotaging behaviorisms was to always feel like you needed to be alone because of how you were made to feel. And but that's not it. It was, yes, in that environment, but that's now you're not in that environment anymore. So the self-sabotaging behavior would be as if you gave to this person that never had any intention of giving to you because they're connecting to somebody. And they're connected to a lot of other people too. So giving to them thinking that they're someone that they're not, and that's self-sabotaging behavior because it's automatic. You want that person to like you because, hey, I'm not as secure within myself. So Spirit says, so the key is to become secure within yourself first. Otherwise you're not going to be able to attract somebody that's not of your worth, right? And that's not what we want. We want to be able to, heal. And the way that we would be able to actually heal is one, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, is Spirit saying is to first and foremost to take time out. Take time out to meditate, quiet time, do reflection work, do shadow work, to say, what's missing in me and what's missing in you is if you were made to feel unworthy, you were always the giver. You didn't get that love back. So you're still trying to get love, where Spirit says you don't get love by giving love, you become love. So you can attract love. So you need to again see where you're fragmented. Where do you feel like you're not lovable? And why do you feel that you're not lovable? You have to again take time out. Again, to connect to the higher self. The higher self is that God part of self that will give you the answers. But do reframing exercises. Hey, you might need to go do a little bit deeper, like help. Join my shadow healing coaching if you need deeper assistance, I will refer you out to someone that understand it's like healing's possible. But the answers are inside of you. You have to take the time out and say, why would I rush into a relationship and think that this person that had no intention of ever giving me anything want to come into my life and just stir up? And why would I allow that? What what was missing? I wanted a relationship. I wanted love. And Spirit says, how about you go into the unknown? How about you open up your heart to exploration where true growth occurs? How about you do that? It's again because you don't know who you are and you don't know all the options that you have available to you. Why would you pick out, why would you go eat out of the dumpster instead of go to the five-star restaurant? No one said that you couldn't go to the five-star restaurant. The universe will bring you whatever you need, but you went to the dumpster because you were like, well, that's all that was there. And Spirit says, no, 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 no. You needed to, again, why settle for less? What were you thinking? Well, this is could be my person. It's easy. It's like we have this connection. And Spirit says, it doesn't work. It's like it works sometimes. And but if it doesn't give you anything emotionally, it's a one-sided connection. And you might have grown up in an environment where your mother was the one that got nothing in return, or your father got nothing in return. You don't need to go through the trauma yourself to feel unworthy. You could have witnessed that, but I feel like you did. But I also feel like a parent did. So again, release the chains and know that you're strong. And Spirit says, how to alchemize the energy. Use the power to turn the adversity into opportunity, to create the change. Always have to embody the new consciousness, Spirit saying. And in the meantime, you have to be in unshakable faith, meaning there's a faith is the bridge that connects you to what you sow, to what you reap. Understand, if you plant corn, it's not going to shoot up corn the next day, and it won't shoot up potatoes. You plant corn, you get in corn, and it takes time for everything to come into fruition. So you have to become what you want. And you have to put that energy out there over and 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 over again in all different ways. And you'll attract the people that are supposed to come to you. Again, the alchemist is you. You are the creator of your life. You're the artist of your life. You're the alchemist of your life. Spirit says that's what you need. You needed to be able to transmute that energy, and you can't heal in the same place that got you sick. Go out into the unknown, see what your options are, find who you are, have a love affair with yourself, especially if you would settle for a person like this. Spirit saying, because what you were settling for was nothing, was what you wanted, but not who they were. And so and unfortunately, not until something happens, and who knows how long that'll be, till this person finally is going to get paid their karma. But in this story, it was about you and fully healing it. And the Spirit says, do the shadow work and see why. And then also don't just do the healing work, go out into the unknown and find who you are and find what you would really like. You'll meet people along the way. It doesn't mean you can't date. Understand, don't abandon yourself. Put more time to you and the love affair that you have with yourself than with any relationship until you're finally in a good place of seeing the support from and the stability and the strength within inside of you, whatever that takes. Again, it's all about you. There's a lot of cards in this deck, and this is the one that I just pulled. Is you, okay? Me. Allow serenity to reign in you, the love that you have for yourself, invites harmony to settle within your being. You listen and honor and strive to fulfill the needs of your soul, and not until then will the universe bring you a person that loves you the way that you want to be loved. I'm going to leave that there, Scorpio. You let me know how you resonated, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.